for three, and that's good. Gain the zone. Shot, it's good! That's been all. Pulls up, knocks it down!
Just take it. He's looking for you guys.
We welcome you to Durfee High School's Luke Urban Fieldhouse. It is Big Three hoops tonight here at Durfee. The Boxers in town from Brockton. The Hilltoppers looking for a sweep here in 2025. Evan Massoud and Brendan Kelly with you. We have some of our students, some of our staff here. We have a multi-cam production going for this Big Three conference game. So great to be here. Great to have an extended staff, Brendan. Usually it's just you and me and a camera, so always nice to have this here. So it is middle school night as well. Lots of our middle school athletes here on the girls' side of things. It's a girls' varsity game, so great to see that as well.
As well as we're at the three-quarter point of the season right now. I can't believe it.
The season's just flying by, and that's, we say that, and yet Durfee is kind of a little behind in the scheduling situation because of some of the postponements and the way some of the, the holiday break fell. So we're actually a little behind some of our opponents in terms of games played.
Yeah, Taylor's oldest time, having tough time scheduling with a three-team conference, but it's going to be a packed last couple weeks of the season for Durfee.
It sure will, especially the boys' side. The boys have 3 games a week starting this week for the remainder. That's pretty heavy. The girls, it's a little more spread out because they did fit in a couple games, but it's still a tough situation.
Yeah, you're going to be on the court a lot, and leave it all out there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Durfee in a must-win situation tonight, 6-8. They've had a bit of a skid, but the good news is, I know it's tough, right? We always say you can't look at the first game, but Durfee really dominated the first game on the road. They won by 20. They got out to a 17-3 lead in the first. That's what they need tonight. Hot start and carry it through 4 quarters.
Yeah, Durfee did a good job that first time around with the Big Three schedule. Now it's the second team. Teams have, checked each other out a few times, so it's going to be big.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break here for the Star Spangled Banner. Fans, we're just about ready for this one here. It's pretty much an on-time start, Brendan. That's 2 in a row now for the girls. Do we want to jinx it?
It's the Evan Massoud meter of keeping it moving.
Last Monday, the Attleboro game, I know you couldn't join me for that one, but I'll tell you, we were here and we were waiting for 6:30. They had a 20-minute warm-up clock. We were back in the office at 7:45. That's how fast the game was. So pretty amazing that how quickly that one went. And here we are, we're on time. right, folks, opening tip here from the Luke Urban Fieldhouse. And it is going to be Durfee with the reach and possession first here in Big 3 play, the third conference game of 4 for Durfee here in 24-25 winner. The ball goes out of bounds to start early, which is going to turn it over to the Boxers. Start off with their starters here. I'll take those, Brendan. You take Durfee. The 4 and 10 Brockton Boxers. Number 3, Tanaya Simpson. Number 4, Victoria Colombo. Number 11, Ama Semedo. Number 12, Kendall O'Brien. And number 21, Jayla Barnes. And Barbara Enos, the head coach, once again, for the Boxers.
Durfee starting out with senior number 4, Emily DePina. Junior number 5, Madeline Hargraves. Junior number 10, Avery Lane. Senior number 13, Jada Montino, who's having an incredible year. And freshman number 21, Tasia Sterling at center for the Hilltoppers, who start off with 3.
That was O'Brien with the 3, I believe.
Oh, excuse me, Boxers with the 3.
Yes. So a hot shot, hot start for the Boxers. Back-to-back turnovers for Durfee.
And not to start offensively you want, but Durfee allowed to get into their press right now, which is, you say, quite often when we cover the girls' game, this is their bread and butter. And right here, Montino with a big steal. Talking to Coach Karen, Coach Guimond, quite frequently during the season, they are so impressed with Jada Montino's season that she's having. First year varsity player, setting the tone defensively. She causes another turnover right there. She's really making the most of her full-time varsity season this year.
Well, she certainly is, and one thing I like seeing right there was making an open layup. That has been, that's one of those things that we say right back. You kind of say basketball one-on-one. I mean, easier said than done, sure, but even still, open layup when those are missed, and we've seen a lot of that this year. That's kind of stuff that can make a coach cringe, and glad to see that right from the early going that they made one. You look to continue to build upon that.
Yeah, especially when you do the hard stuff defensively, cause the turnover. You do the hard stuff off the jump, you think a wide open layup would be the easy part. So I echo that statement. It's good to get those early. I mean, her airspace right now, there's nothing on Brockton, making it very uncomfortable.
And they ran almost the whole shot clock. A foul coming.
Loose ball.
That's against Colombo, her first. So that was on Brockton on the rebound. Coach Policino running PA tonight, so we'll hear his voice.
Does a great job.
Gym. He's got a good voice for it. He does. He's another one of those that if he wasn't needed for volleyball, I'd have him broadcast once in a while. He's got a good voice for it, especially in the spring when you got to go back to coaching. You leave me high and dry here.
Well, he's the ultimate plug-and-play guy for multiple things.
I know, so busy.
Durfee. He is a man who wears many hats, but there's a lot of times plug-and-play. I need him with the huddle and statistics, and he's been one of my right-hand men for a long time now. He's a great ear to bounce things off of, knows the game, a guy I really trust. So you can't have him that many times. You take Boolia every once in a while.
Yes, absolutely.
Tasia Sterling with a great roll to the basket, finish. Durfee again gets an opportunity to set up their press.
So that's back-to-back for Sterling. Colombo got a nice feed down low for a layup as well, and now another steal for the Hilltoppers. Back down the court. The jumper is no good. Batted out of bounds, and it's going to be Brockton ball. Looks like it did end up kind of going off of Martino last. Very bang-bang play there.
Martino's so fast. I think she just mistimed her footing right there as Madeline Hargraves nearly gets a steal.
So 6-5 Durfee in the early goings here. About 3 minutes in. Travel for the Boxers, and we'll go back the other way. Some downer news is that Jada Johnson-Scott, one of the seniors for Durfee, the forward, who's really had a nice season. She's out now for the rest of the season. We saw her go down with an injury, couldn't really walk off the court in the Attleboro game, and unfortunately a season-ending injury for Jada. So not the way she wanted her senior year to end, that's for sure, but I'll tell you, the minutes we saw were impressive.
Yeah, Jada, great kid. I mean, I have in class. You don't want to see any type of athlete miss parts of seasons, and especially when you get into that senior year type things. Jade is a great kid. Hope for a bounce back, and that's it. Nice career for Durfee. She was really contributing a lot as a senior. And I recall some games last year. Came off the bench, really did a nice job. With,
Big minutes,
significant minutes, and multiple games that you and I did.
Well, I'll tell you something else is that, when she had to leave the court for any reason during the season, Avery Lane and Tajaya Sterling both gave quality minutes in her place. They're both out there tonight as starters, and Coach Karen's going to rely on them, I'm sure, a little more.
Yeah, throughout the season with the girls, there's kind of been a rotating starting five. There's been 7 or 8 players that have probably started games in different portions of the season. I think that's important going down, the playoff stretch. I'd say 3/4 of the season right now. I'd say we're probably entering the 4th quarter, even though it might not be schedule-wise. Well, 14 games for the girls, that's
not bad.
That's exactly where we should probably be. Having opportunities of different players that have started games, I think, is super important.
The boys, though, the reason I referenced the schedule thing, as Hargraves takes it, that was a really good drive from the sideline, just couldn't get it to fall. The boys, as of last Friday when they were in Dartmouth, that was game 11 for them. So it's 3-3-3 over the next 2.5 weeks. That's a lot of games in a short time. And, forget it if we have any kind of significant weather situation where you got to reschedule more games. Going to make it kind of tough.
Well, the first time you and I had did this, right before Christmas time, we said that exactly. and it was one of those, I suppose the boys would worry about it when the time came and times come. And I've always looked at it as, one of 2 things. I recall one year coaching the girls, we had a few weird scenarios with weather and games. And
2015 is one of those. That was crazy.
The natural gap of, sometimes a Durfee team has a week off for whatever the scheduling gap is. And I remember we played something like 10 games in 22 days or something like that. Now, as the years go, your memory gets a little fuzzy.
Well, that was the year with the big playoff comeback with Brianna Camara when you guys routed, was it Quincy or North Quincy? Which one?
Quincy.
Quincy. I remember that. And the reason that it stands out is because my cameraman at the time and I took the drive up, and when we were leaving Quincy, we got rerouted. We couldn't take the on-ramp to 93 because they had the front loader and a dump truck trying to take snow off the off the interchange because there was so much snow.
Well, that's the one you speak of. You see things online, Snowmageddon they called it.
Yes.
That's the 10-year anniversary.
10 years ago.
So I say my memory's fuzzy. The season I'm speaking of is 2014.
Okay, that was the year before then.
To this day, I'll still say we drew a home game against Needham. I think we were just so gassed by the time the playoffs came.
Yeah.
And 10-22, it might have been 12-27. It was wild.
A lot of games.
We were at January 20-something, and we were only 6 games in for a number of reasons.
Yeah,
and,
I do remember that.
And we got hot. So on our end, we got hot and we got rolling. But come playoff time, we were gassed. And, we were pretty young that year. I don't think we had many. Only the Feidelberg was our only senior. That's a lie. We had a couple seniors, but it was. So I mean, could go a number of different ways. If the boys get hot again, like they were in September, this could be good opportunity for them. As Durfee's
unbelievable press. No points on that one. DePina put it up, no good. They're going to kick it out. It's out of bounds.
Hey, listen, I know Jeff Karen right now. He wants the points on the board as he puts his head down, but he's got to love the defensive effort right now. I mean, Brockton literally not getting the ball over half court. Really, really having a tough time with this pressure right now.
Coach Enos expected it as well. I asked her point blank. I said, look, you guys fell behind very quickly and very significantly as we go into our first timeout of the night. It was a 17-3 first quarter for Durfee on the road. Very similar to the Attleboro game we did here last week. 11-2 was the start after the first quarter for Durfee. So, you know, not too bad. But 17-3 against Brockton anytime, whether they're struggling or not, that's not a joke. That's dominating to start the game.
Well, that's what this timeout is right now.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of decent offensive possession. A few outside shots have fallen down. But the last couple of times, they haven't gotten it to the volleyball line. So that's exactly what this timeout is right now. 8-5. You don't want that to spill over to, you know, like what you said, you know, that 17, 18, and then first quarter gets really out of hand. Now it's a tough climb. So good timeout from a basketball standpoint.
Yeah, because let me tell you, 3 minutes and 1 second left in the first. 3 minutes is a long time. A lot of stuff can happen in 3 minutes. We know that for sure.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that timeout was right there, just to settle everything down.
Colombo with the inbound to Simpson. They both have very long ponytails here. Tough to see their numbers.
Martino is, I watched a number of girls' games and moved out a handful of girls' games. She is very engaged today right now, and she is flying. Her speed is the best I've seen since Izzy McDonald. Like, her next gear is so fast right now. And if she could ever, you know, finish around the rim and make those transition layups, you know, she's going to be very dangerous. It's a heck of a move by Sterling.
It is, but she's not going to get the basket, unfortunately. And so fast, by the way, back to, you know, Martino, so quick that, in fact, she drew a foul in the backcourt, and that's why Durfee got the turnover and ended up getting the ball back, because Colombo was tagged with her second. So speed is really something. Oh boy, really got in her face again.
Well, she's doing so much too.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just it's a deflection on every. I hope Coach Guimond and somebody as a 10-second
backcourt violation.
I hope somebody on Durfee's bench is charting the deflections right now. She had 3 separate deflections right on that position, and she could feel it right now. She's got a grin on her face right now.
Yep, they trapped him. They couldn't get past the emblem at center court. Quick inbound pass to the baseline. Hargraves, a lot of pressure, puts it up and high in off the glass.
Great old school move, back it in a little bit.
Oh, that's a travel, and Durfee didn't get the call, but they're going to get the ball anyway. Those feet were moving.
This is where Durfee can get, you know, a little bit of momentum.
Nice patience, pull up, it goes long. Into the hands there, looking for 3. Caraballo knocks it down.
Great 3-point shot by Harmony. She's, you know, and summer's a long way away, but she worked so hard over the summer. She did some clinics that I worked at, old school playing at the park. She's having a really, really nice junior season right there, and I'm really happy for her. She did it the old-fashioned way, and that's a big 3 that she hit, and she wants it again, and she's feeling it.
Hargraves misjudging that drive to the basket. A travel called. Now that's an interesting one because I know her feet were moving. There was a lot of contact there too. That could have gone either way. 7-0 run for Durfee since the timeout, 5 straight, but the basket before that as well. So 7-0 run has swelled the lead here, 13-5 with 94 seconds to go in the first. Durfee ball again.
What's good news for Durfee, too, is they're getting good shots, too. Like, they're getting very good shots, getting ball to the rim, some screaming bumps. You know, they're getting good looks, and it's all you want as a coach, good looks, because they'll eventually fall.
One of the few, just a couple errors we've seen by Durfee in this first. That was not a great pass there down towards the baseline, but that's okay.
I think there was a little bit of miscommunication. I think one thought they were going to attack off the dribble, and the other thought that there was going to be a bump and hit to the rim. But again, those are aggressive mistakes that you can totally live by.
Yeah, no, and we like that. I mean, that's what we want to see. Hargraves, another tough take, a little strong off the window. Durfee gets the rebound again. Caraballo gets the feed from Lane. Now, Jade Winslow. That won't go. Lane with the rebound for 3. That kicks back off the rear of the basket. No good.
Durfee a really good job too. It's one of the first possessions we've seen. They've had to just really just get back on defense. Great
The
pass
break.
by
Winslow. Open layup and good for Winslow.
Another one who did it the old-fashioned way over the summer. Worked really hard. It's had a nice year.
That three, very strong. Almost hit off the shot clock. Winslow tripped from behind. A travel called. How is that a travel, Brendan?
She tripped and fell. I mean, it was one of those. It was kind of took her eye off the ball just to make the catch, but nonetheless, she's leaking out right now. It's a great pass, a great opportunity. This is the best I've seen Durfee's offense right now. It's just all been really good shots.
Thrown away with less than 10 seconds. Back to, it kind of picked off there by Simpson. 3 seconds for the Boxers.
Yeah, he's just about to say you don't want to bail out with a foul right there.
And they did, unfortunately. That's Durfee's second. They're not in foul trouble. Hargraves with both fouls for Durfee.
When you say Durfee not being in foul trouble, that's fantastic considering how aggressive they are and how much they're moving fast.
0.1 second, and that's not going to count because there's no time to even catch and release with the 10th of a second.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer for Brockton, a break for Durfee, who finishes the first quarter on a 9-0 run.
Yeah, good hit by Brockton right there, but you need, 0.7 at least in order to
you need at least half a second.
I know
a 10th of a second is only good when we're talking, NASCAR here. We're breaking it down to a 1,000th of a second.
I know sometimes the standards change depending on college and NBA on whether or not what the catch actually can be.
Right.
And, you get that hometown scoreboard. You can press that really fast.
Well,
as you should.
Oh, the thing is, literally, that 10th of a second is just your fingers wrapping around the ball when you're taking the pass. So, not much that you can really do there. So, hey, 15-5, not bad first quarter for the Hilltoppers.
I remember a day when a 10-point lead in basketball was great. And, we talk about how point spreads can change fast these days, but I think it's a very good start at home against Brockton in a game that, let's put it this way, Durfee's got to get if they want to, extend. You look at the last power rankings, Durfee's been hovering in that 32, which is nice, but you don't want to put all your eggs in the math. Get to that 10 and go from there. And we've seen in the past, specifically the last couple of years, you get in that 20s, you get potentially a home game, in that prelim round. And I don't care the terminology of the prelim. It's playoff basketball, home game. I think it's important.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I know with the seedings, and 32 is a number divisible by 4, 2. It's the natural number for a bracket to go 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1 champion. Everything's divisible. Foul coming. But to call it a prelim is, it is a preliminary round. I get it, but I get what you're saying because it's just as important as any other game, really. I mean, some people call it a play-in. That I don't like because it's not a play-in. You're in the playoffs, so you're part of the bracket, regardless if you're 32. So we've seen some, because of the way it works, that you can be in the top 32 and you're still playing a prelim. I mean,
that's what ends up happening depending on how strong each division is.
Yeah.
You look at Division 5, for example. And I don't know the exact numbers, so if I butcher this and say that there's 80 schools in Division 5, I might be off, but there's over 70.
Yeah.
And there's just naturally going to be a lot of teams that make it under that, so you're going to get teams all the way down from 32 to potentially 20 that are going to have to play that first round game. And I echo your statement. I never use the terminology playing game. I don't like that.
It's not.
It's
you earned it.
It's
you
a
got your
first
500
round,
record, you're in the
you
top
wanna
32.
call it. Yes,
you got it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And what's good about this new format, and we saw it the last couple years in both programs, you get that first game. It's a very favorable, similar matchup.
It
So
seems to be these days. It's been working better off. It's been working in Durfee's favor, actually.
you know, I've obviously coached longer in the old format. I almost can't remember and/or can't believe we used to go in old format. You know, sometimes there were years, another steal by Durfee, great pass, and an even better finish by Harmony. You look at it, it was really weird the way it used to, you know, fall out. And some years you'd make the playoffs and then you'd go to a juggernaut right away, and it was really hard. Here, you know, there's some favorable matchups early, and you know, I think it's working great.
Oh, geez. How many times did we draw Needham, Newton, Quincy, or Newton South?
That was my first.
Like the first round, though, right? I mean, those were not honestly favorable matchups.
I'll never forget, you know, kind of my eye-opening moment. It's 2010, so we're over a while now. You know, we just started getting some momentum in boys volleyball. I had that group that played for me as freshmen, and we had a really, really good regular season. And percentage point-wise, we were something like a 4 seed. And we drew a home game, first one program history was great. And we draw Newton North. And I don't really think much of it because we're the higher seed, another big 3.
Carabello with another 3, and it is a 14-0 run for the Hilltoppers.
And we draw Newton, and it's not even the same plant. They were that much better than us, coming down as a lower seed, and you know, and it was something that I learned the hard way, and you know, adjusted to in other ways of coaching and schedule planning and all that stuff. So this, I think, allows for some favorable matchups early.
Well, and that's another instance there, travel. That's an instance where we can say that the strength of schedule variable that's part of things now might have flipped the switch there. And Newton might have been a higher seed. You may have been a lower seed.
There's no doubt about it.
You know what I mean? That's, I think, the whole purpose of it is why the MIAA wanted to do this, is because, you know, it gives some precedence to teams with, or favor to the teams that have the harder schedule and that are winning. So that other variable, you know, kind of evens things out, balances things out a little bit. Brockton cannot buy any points right now. Durfee has just been smothering. There's no room. That's a good drive. It just won't fall. That's one of their better looks that we've seen in the last, you know, going back to the end of last quarter. Dual possession. Durfee's got the arrow.
Emily DePina, I'm not sure if she wanted a handoff right there. She's like, I'm right here. Carabello couldn't just turn right here. Now a little bit of pressure from Brockton right now, trying to fight fire with fire. Not a ton of ball pressure in the airspace.
Weaving through, right DePina. It'll go. Make it 16 in a row.
Yeah, they teach you at a young age. Go to somebody stops you, and nobody stopped DePina, and she goes all the way to the basket for 2.
Foul coming.
One of the things I'm super impressed with is the fact that Durfee hasn't been in foul trouble with how aggressive they are playing defense. And I've said this often. Sometimes referees see the fast and the aggressive defense, and you know, through no fault of anybody, but you tend to blow the whistle a little quicker than you normally would when defensive pressure's that fast. Durfee's done a great job of not fouling.
Well, and you know, but at the same time, yes, not fouling, but I give credit to the officials that they're recognizing the style of
Martino.
They're recognizing the style of play, and they're not just blowing a whistle haphazardly either. I had a couple instances where I said, "Ooh, Brenda, that's kind of close, right?" But they didn't see it. There were some nights we've been here where it's just the New Bedford game was, you were not here. It was atrocious, and you're not seeing anything different tonight than you did 2 weeks ago, folks. So. Another steal. Do we want 20 straight points? You might see it as a foul coming, and Durfee's going to the line.
Yeah, if we brought our official statistician with us right now, Martino's got to have 5-6 steals.
Yeah.
First half alone right now.
Martino going to the line, first trip. The foul was on Jayla Bonds, her second, team second.
What's nice about Durfee right now is they're playing fast, they're playing hard right now. There's not one person on the floor that's gassed or tired. And that is gigantic going into this part of the season right now. You know, you've been playing basketball every day since Thanksgiving, and, you know, so has everybody else. But, you know, you want to be tip-top shape this time of the year.
1 for 2, and it's 19 straight points for Durfee going back to the end of the first quarter. That's a good point there, Brendan, about fatigue. Another steal.
This is
DePina. Layup no good.
We can clip this of Martino steal.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep saying it. She causes that other steal right now. She's grinning ear to ear right now. She is playing so hard and is disrupting so much in the backcourt right now. She should be smiling.
Well, you know, I want to bring attention to, you know, last Friday, girls were home against Dartmouth, and, you know, Dartmouth did get their 13th win that night. And, but Durfee was the first team to hold them to under 50 points all year. And sure, they didn't score many, Durfee didn't, but it just shows you the level of defense that Dartmouth is just, you know, destroying everybody this year. And the Hilltoppers defense gave them some fits. So it begs the question, if you had a shooter like Cheesebro on the Indians team, you know, maybe the game's a different story.
Yeah, no matter what, Jeff Karen coach team is going to play defense. He's said it often. He loves defense. He loves teams that can fly up and down the court and really disrupt. So you knew this was going to happen here. You know, defensively here, Martino banks in a three.
A three for Martino. And a timeout after that basket from Semedo for the Brockton Boxers. Their first points in just about 7 minutes of gameplay, in which Durfee had a 19-0 run. And here in the second quarter, just really putting it to Brockton, outscoring them, let's see, 3-6, 8, 10, 12, 13-2 in the second quarter alone. Total domination here since the first timeout that we saw. When we were talking about, don't let this slip away, don't let it slip away, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, it was a great timeout. Unfortunately, it's Durfee, you know, was in that timeout of their own, and you know, really stepped it up. Talk about Kat Cheeseborough. Tonight, the next game, she has an opportunity to break Jess Gasper's all-time scoring record at Dartmouth.
That's right.
That's a fantastic accomplishment. You got to assume, you know, 2,000 is in the reach. I mean, there's not a lot of 2,000-point scorers in the state of Massachusetts, guys or girls.
If they get into the tournament, they get a couple games in. So she had. I did their game Saturday. I actually went up to Boston with DCTV.
And she was held to 14 against St. Mary's. St. Mary's another one of those schools year in and year out. They get things done.
Yeah, but she had 36 against them last year. So the hope was that she'd go off. So she needs 15 coming into today, 15 to tie the record of 1,840 points, 16 to take the record.
She's averaging 29, almost 30 points a game.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So that's what I'm saying. You know, she get 18. So this is their 15th game tonight, and 1840. I mean, 2,000 is not out of the question, which would just be unbelievable.
Great inside out. Maya Hans under the basket, felled a couple defenders, kicked it out. Kyle with great three-pointer, just didn't fall. Durfee doing a real nice job. Their half courts. Hargraves with a football type of deception.
Basket's good. Hargraves with the layup. So that's Durfee's third foul, by the way. That was the second on Martino. 30-7 the score. When was the last time Durfee had 30 in the first half?
Well, when you're playing
Been
defense
a while.
and you're giving yourself opportunities for layups and
exactly.
dare I say close shots.
That's for three and no good.
You know,
Good look, though.
those are all wide open. Those are shots you're going to take.
Loose ball. Simpson just kind of gave up on it, shoulders back. Kind of got that defeated look, unfortunately, for Brockton, and you know, you feel it.
Yeah,
they're down by 25.
Yeah, Brockton, what they're going to have to do right now, they're going to have to hang in there as much as they can these next 2 minutes, 34 seconds. Try to regroup at halftime, or, you know, this could get out of hand real fast. You know, Durfee's playing hard. I know sometimes it's tough. You know, you're not getting much offensively, and you even get the ball over half court. But if you stop playing hard, things can get, you know, tough for a long time in the second half.
Cat Rumsey just checked in. I think you may see Coach Karen go to his bench a little bit here.
Yeah, all players have entered the game right now, all eligible players. Martino with a great rebound from the wing.
A good look from Hargraves, too, just didn't go. But Martino with a rebound in triple coverage. That was pretty amazing.
This is a set by Brockton right there, attack the painted area for a nice open three.
Colombo got the rebound. She can't put it back off the glass, so Hargraves taking it now for Durfee. Coward with the jumper. Whistle, travel on the transition, and Durfee has it back. Another turnover for Brockton.
Yeah, you have to look at the stats right now from the bench of how many turnovers Durfee's forced. And I'm not talking necessarily steals, because a lot of the stuff they've had has been throwing the ball out of bounds or in travel.
Nice reach there, getting the rebound back, and a foul will put Durfee at the line. That was Maya Hands with a great rebound there to get it back out. Third foul for the Boxers.
Yeah, good for Skylar Coward too. She's all the shots she's taken right now, they're fantastic shots and shots that need to be taken. You know, sometimes when the ball's not going in right there, the best thing to do is to get to the free throw line. Give yourself one to calm down and make, you know, all good shots. Shooter's going to shoot the ball.
Coward, her first trip to the free throw line tonight. And that one will drop in, so 1 for 2.
Yep, and shooters like to see that. See the ball go through right now. You know, I know the next one that's taken is going to feel a lot better.
Good stretch there from Colombo, getting the rebound back out to Simpson. And now a foul down the other end as Celia Holland will go to the line on Sterling's first foul, 4th for Durfee. Two shots for Holland.
Go back to what we were talking about earlier with middle school night and elementary school night. When I was coaching, this used to be one of my favorite nights of the year.
Yeah.
I am such a big component of having the younger generation come in here and watch, you know, the current players play. I love to watch how they interact, and it's, you know, it just goes by so fast for these kids that, you know, they're in the stands watching, and then they're playing, and then for some of them, they're working at Durfee.
Well, that's the other thing. And the middle school program has gotten so big. Now we have elementary. That's gotten big, and the whole hope here. What a block from Sterling, and Simpson going to try to take it back. Out of bounds.
Hustle play. Carabello fell. Definitely looked a little worse than it was, and she's right back up.
I thought the ball went out of bounds, quite honestly, too. Yeah. But these programs, you know, these are feeders for the high school.
Well, it's become almost,
you know,
probably
and that's so important.
Feeder.
Yeah, so important. It is a turnover. It did go out of bounds. Minute to go in the half.
Brockton showed a little bit of pressure.
Turnover for Durfee.
You know, if I'm Brockton right now, what I'm looking for is hopefully a possession or two, and here's one right here that they get. Try to go into halftime, you know, with some positive. You know, with Durfee right here, you want to just not do anything that taints this incredible first half that they had.
That was only for 2 Thought it was for 3. But scoreboard only has it as 2 here.
No, she was under the three-point line.
She
It was
was
actually
inside it.
closer to
It was
the
close.
foul line.
Just a high shot. So 33-10. Why is the clock still rolling? Oh boy. Lost about 4 seconds there.
It's that hometown clock. Yeah.
It's not rolling now. What's going on? Yikes. We can't say hometown crowd.
Yeah,
Then
that
clock.
the,
Now it's a conspiracy.
Oh, when I say crowd, sorry. I meant clock. But then
No, but we
saying
can't
that.
say clock either, hometown clock, because then it's a conspiracy and more fingers pointing at Durfee.
Is that one of the one of the things you can't say on air?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying probably not a good idea. Oh, that won't go. That was a good look from Simpson. An open layup. Dual possession now. That's twice we've seen the jump ball signal come in a little later than we used to as well. We have not got a lot of whistles from the officials tonight.
No, they're letting them
honestly,
play right
I'm
now.
fine with it. Need a game like this once in a while. No one's getting chippy. No one's, starting anything. Just let them play. Holland with the basket. So 33-12 at the half. They didn't update the score after that basket either here in the gym. So issues with the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, all these things will get settled off at halftime.
There we go, 33-12. They got it. Jeff just went over. He's just two. He gave the two-fingered symbol, the peace symbol, 2 points. Clock not rolling. What is going on with that? I have to say, I'm not blaming anybody at the table. Those Daktronic,
I could never do
they're
it.
horrible.
I could never do it. I have a hard
for the
enough time
cost
doing
of
it
a
at
scoreboard
practice.
in a gym, folks, I have used them as well. They're these matted button, terrible. Half is not done here, by the way. There was a foul. It was the 5th for Brockton. So free throws here with time expiring. Hilltoppers get one more as Coward goes 1 for 2. And it's 34-12 at the break here at Durfee. Well, not bad. Not too bad at all. I like what I'm seeing. The open layups, the shots have fallen for Durfee, and the getting possessions thanks to the defense, which we always see. But this night, they're capitalizing on those steals, on those turnovers. That's something we haven't seen a lot of this year.
Yeah, they're playing hard, and there's a sense of urgency, too, from Durfee right now where, they know it's time to really kind of turn it up a notch right now. And if that is any preview of what's to come, it should be a real exciting last go of it this part of the season.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed the first half here. Durfee with a big lead thanks to a 19-0 run that, ended the first quarter, got into the second quarter here. And, we have some features we usually run, but the middle school program out on the court doing a free throw competition. So you know what? Let's keep it here. You guys see enough of the Community Preservation Act pieces and the recruitment videos and all the PSAs. This is fun. So we'll keep it here until they're done, and then we'll take the break. They hand it off back to Romero. Romero forges ahead. Touchdown, Hilltoppers.
Coming in, you're really scared, you might be a little nervous, but I think being a part of a team gives you friends who can come with you all the way through high school, and then coaches looking out for you. I think as an athlete, you can improve and learn the art of dedication.
That shot taken. Cadet will take the shot and score.
Hard work pays off. From my freshman year, starting off hardly knowing anything about sports to now my junior year, having almost all the school records in track and field. I feel like this school shows a lot of opportunities in classrooms and out of classrooms.
High flip to Espinal. Open three. Got it! Big time hit from Granham.
Durfee has such a great community, such great pride. We're people who love to be here, we love to compete, we love to play, and it's such a great opportunity.
Corralled by Camara, full steam ahead. Weaving through traffic, takes the shot, and it's good! Camara, coast to coast!
I've made a lot of great friends playing sports. I really appreciate how it fosters a community amongst all of the athletes, even in between sports seasons.
Good pass up the field, gets some good backspin on it, and it is a loose ball! Shot, and it's good! To tie it. It's good! Medeiros on the PK!
You have a lot of support and a lot of people around you. It's a good environment, especially the sports teams.
Great. O'Connell with the three, and the lead is over 30.
I know how much pride it takes to be a topper, so it made me work harder so I can be more successful.
It's really great to just be able to learn accountability, reliability, just getting involved in school, and I feel like the best way to do that is to join a sport.
In the air in a deep left field. Coppola heading back at the wall. It's gone! 3-run home run for Montilla, and it's a 2-run game. Welcome back, everybody, to the field house here. Had to cut out of the pack a little early because halftime was wrapping up on us. So here we go. Third quarter about to begin here, and it is the Hilltoppers up by, 34-12. Big lead for Durfee. Over 20 points the deficit. Hilltoppers starting with possession 2 here, so Brockton needing a stop. I'd be interested to see what the Boxers can come out with to try to tame Durfee a little bit here and at least make it a little more of a game.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in the Brockton locker room, what you're trying to do, and exactly what they do, have a good start with a steal on a trying to cross-court pass. They give it right back with an offensive, but you want to make a couple shots, see if you can get this under 20, and you got to play hard. If I'm Durfee, you want to put this away right off the jump of this quarter. Take this 22, get it to 30. Go home, stay home with a league win.
It would be Durfee's second conference win because they beat Brockton the first time.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what, second time around with New Bedford. Durfee, their coaching staff, they'll be prepared. And
that would be for a split, right?
Yeah,
because New Bedford already beat Brockton once, so they, or twice, they beat us once. We know that.
Yeah, so one will assume that New Bedford is at the very least 3-0 in the conference if they haven't played Brockton their second time right now. That would be, a scenario where Durfee could kind of ruin New Bedford's party.
Out of bounds. So you were saying something off camera, and it was kind of interesting when we were taking the halftime break about the running clock thing. It's like kind of been experimented, it seems, in the South Coast Conference, which is Wareham and Case and Somerset, Berkeley, Apponequet. That if it gets like over 30 points in the fourth, I think, or something, you said they run the 8-minute clock, kind of like football.
Yeah, so I try to go to as many games as I can throughout the winter and check out different teams. And right now, there's nothing better in the area than Somerset. They're awesome, and it's, my kids go to school in town, and so I get to go with my son on games and stuff. So last week, they had 3 home games, coincidentally. It was a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. It was great. And they were up 30 in all 3 of those games. And one of the ones I looked up, the clock's running in the fourth quarter, and I guess the scenario is, from what I've done with my research, I don't know if I'm correct 100%, but second you get up 30, clock goes, and that's it. So I asked, I texted some friends, I'm like, is this a MIA initiative that I just wasn't aware of? And they believe it's being piloted in the South Coast Conference. That's, Somerset, Case, Old Rochester, Apponequet. And I just got so many questions. And one of them,
so do I.
hit by DePina.
Nice pass, and it won't go. The stretch from Sterling will go.
Great run by Sterling, rim to rim. That's why you always sprint. You never know when those are going to fall right into your hands for a nice, easy deuce. Great job by Durfee. Great fast break by Emily DePina, too, being very unselfish. But going back to that, it's piloted right now, and it doesn't go back to normal. So let's say, for example, a team gets down by 30, and let's say cut it to 15.
Yeah.
12. It stays that way. So I got a lot of questions. That's one of those ones.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's the first I'm hearing of it. Hargraves, top of the key, no good. Another big stretch from Sterling. Got it back again, nothing. Now DePina with the reach in, hands it off to Hargraves again. That's an interesting one. I'm not sure that I would be for that.
And I don't understand, too, because there's a margin of victory in the power ranking things, but I know it gets capped at a thing, so, that's a heck of a catch. Great pass, even better catch.
10 points for Sterling, game high.
She's had a great year, the freshman. I mean, the future is super bright for her, but she's done an incredible job. Kind of early in the season being forced to take the training wheels off right away.
It's crazy. I don't consider her a freshman. She plays well above her grade level academically here. She knows what she's doing on the court.
And she's started most of the season, and that's a great catch finish right now. Hasn't looked nervous or hesitant once this year.
Another steal. DePina again. No good, but right there is Martino. She's got 10. Yeah, well, that's an interesting one, though, the running clock thing. I think what's more concerning is that when you said it doesn't go back, it just continues to run. What if there is a team that goes on a 10-0 run and they start chipping away? Now they don't have time on their side at all. Hargraves all the way.
A 10-0 run right here. This is exactly what I said, you know, you'd look for from Durfee right now. Can they kind of put it away early in the third quarter is exactly what they're doing right now. They haven't taken their foot off the gas as far as defensively right now. They've run some really nice breaks. Yeah, there's a lot there. You know, you look at it from, you know, when a team goes to their bench, you know, for example, Somerset and those, you know, guys that come off their bench, you know, their 8 minutes gets, you know, warp speed. And, you know, that affects stats, that affects certain things. So I'm not sure. I understand the good intentions behind a great pass, great catch.
That's 10 straight for Durfee to start the second half, and a timeout for Coach Enos. Wow.
Yeah, great way to come out of halftime.
Second double-digit run for Durfee tonight. They had a 19-0 run earlier on the night between the first and second quarter, and now to start the third, we're halfway through it. 10 straight for the Hilltoppers. It's 44-12. That's about as dominating as you'll see the Hilltoppers be in a game. Pretty impressive.
What's great, too, is the extra passes that are being made and the extra hustle, you know, picking up some of those rebounds off of layups and stuff like that. Everybody's eating tonight, and they're looking for their teammates, which is a great sign. And as a coach, you love when that happens, when the extra pass is being made, when you're trying to get your buddy an extra basket. It's really nice to see.
It's also nice to see a good crowd here at the field house. It's a middle school night, so
this is fantastic. It's, you know, you struggle with it, and you know, all the kids and stuff like that. You know, how do you get these kids in there every night? You know, you want to make it into a scenario where it's not middle school night, but it's middle school season. You know, the more these kids are in the gym, they get to see these girls. These girls are great role models. They get to see former players who are now teachers and coaches and support staff, and it's important for these kids to be in that type of environment. So we just got to figure out a way. And this is not by any stretch a Durfee problem. This is you know, all schools. Kids have so many things going on.
Yeah.
You know.
No, totally.
And but it's great. You know. You don't see a lot of phones right now. They're watching. You know, free T-shirts. Get out. You get on on the court at halftime. It's an important aspect of the development in sports. And you know, and I say it's not a Durfee problem. It's an everybody problem. You and I have gone to a couple of schools. Let's just go back, which is 3 years ago now. Franklin. I mean, what an event that was.
Oh, my goodness. It felt like a professional event.
And
it felt like a professional sporting event environment. It was unbelievable.
And let's put it this way. I know that wasn't just a playoff atmosphere. That's an every night thing.
Every night.
So we've got to do a good job of, you know, engagement. And I think we're on the right path. But this is it's great to see. You know, you got to assume there's going to be a boys' night, or have I missed that?
There will be.
Yeah, and that's.
I think they may be doing it against New Bedford Folk next Tuesday.
Yep.
I believe, which is, I don't think they're doing it with senior night on Friday the 14th, because that'd be a lot all at one time.
Yeah,
you know,
as a coach, senior night's enough of them.
Yeah, so I'm
dare I say headache. I'm not going to dare. I'm going to say it. It's really.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to have on your mind as a coach, and even as the players and stuff like that. You know, it's a constant reminder that after ceremonies we're going to play a game.
I think, I'm pretty sure it's New Bedford Folk. Don't quote me on it, but regardless, I can tell you that next week we do have a pair of boys games. And New Bedford Folk on Tuesday, and then New Bedford High on Friday. So we will see 2 boys games next week before we wrap up the regular season of coverage. Because next Friday starts the school break, and any final games will happen during winter break, February vacation.
Yeah.
Martino with 4 fouls in the blink of an eye here.
Yeah, this is a night right now. She has a lot to be proud of. This is the old saying, you can't take them with you. So just continue her aggressiveness. Yeah, saying, 'tis the season, Ev. I feel like we did some good stuff in December, and we've had a gap. I'm not sure the last one you and I have done. There's been a little bit of a gap, but we'll be behind the mic next week, and hopefully, going into March with playoffs. So hopefully both the boys and the girls.
I know you had you did the boys Brockton game with me here.
That's post Christmas?
Yeah, that was the Tuesday after. It's like the 7th or something
Yeah.
after we got back. But yeah, I know you had a bit of a break. I think you did one more with me. I had Amber Burns on for Attleboro on Monday, former Durfee player, of course. But I got you back tonight, and I think you said you're good for next Tuesday and Friday?
Yeah.
Good. So there you go.
Yeah, so we're right back. It's so funny. January.
January
the
was a blur.
longest month in the world.
Yeah.
But man, here we are. February vacation in a week and a half. It's just so.
Well, we got back
Crazy.
into the building on January 6th versus January 2nd.
Yep.
So I think that that really kind of shortened it a little bit. But you mentioned something about Durfee with the defense, and everybody's involved in the scoring, and well, you can also when you have a lead like this and you have all the confidence, you can not press to the basket and look for that extra player, and maybe get the ball off, someone else get a layup. You can get more people involved. I mean, when you have a lead like this, that helps. When you're pressing and you're playing from behind, that's not at the forefront of your mind. You're just like, oh, I got the ball, got an open basket, let me try to take the shot. So the mindset changes too.
It's also a great opportunity to work on some things in real game time that you can implement later on in the season. There's nothing like game time action. You can practice things, and you can do the half-court stuff as much as you can in practice. But this is an opportunity where you can run some sets, run some things where you can go to your second and third option, and it may pay dividends later on in the season.
For 3, Durfee no good. On the other end there, Bonds with a basket. It was a good drive into the paint.
Yeah, freshman starter for Brockton right there. It's not easy playing varsity sports as a freshman, and going out there, competing. Nice job. Very fast.
Yeah. Another 3, Simpson. That's good. Brockton's first from the field here in the quarter, almost 7 minutes in. A second from the field, excuse me. Their first 3 since the first quarter.
Well, Coach Enos does a great job, and Brockton's they are a prideful athletic program right now. One thing that they are going to do is they're going to continue to play hard down the stretch, and they're working on things too right now, but the pride's going to kick in right now. They're going to shoot the ball with confidence and continue to keep pushing.
Well, Durfee has hit the limit for fouls first time tonight. So Bonds at the line for the second time tonight. Both times coming here in the third, and 58.7 seconds on the clock.
Isn't it funny how Durfee's turned it down a notch on the defensive intensity, and with some of the fouls picked up when they've turned it down a notch as opposed to going like crazies in the first half.
I know, you would not expect that. You would have expected it to be the other way around, but not the case.
Another thing that's hard to do sometimes when you got things rolling, to try to have them peel it back can be challenging.
So under a minute here in the third, very fast third quarter. Durfee started with that 10-0 run. A dual possession there, turning the ball over. Bonds kicks it out. That's no good. Goes right back to Cyan Fernandez.
Nice job by Brockton the last couple possessions. Just getting good opportunities, good scores. You know, going to the fourth quarter.
15 seconds. Durfee will not take the last shot. Brockton with the steal. 10 seconds now. They'll take it back. This is Simpson. Bonds for three. No good. 3 seconds for Durfee. Lets it fly from that. Wow, that ball really sailed. I hit off the shot clock. I thought it was going to die. A lot of power behind it, but nothing doing. Durfee with a 10-point third quarter, and interestingly enough, that 10-0 run that started the quarter and then sparked the timeout, Durfee then went scoreless the rest of the quarter. So kind of a flip there, but not that Durfee needed any more than that. Still up by over 20.
Yeah, Durfee, what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to kind of get a little bit more of their aggressiveness back. I think sometimes when you peel things back, sometimes they get misinterpreted as not to play as hard.
Right.
And games can get sloppy, and then they can last forever, which is not good for the Evan Massoud on-time meter.
Stop.
But we want to, continue to play hard, run your sets, shoot open shots, do your transition stuff, go from there. This is Durfee, New Bedford. You're mindful of the sky. It's 20 right now. Point spreads, they flip fast. So Durfee, after that timeout, kind of peeled it back a little too much here.
I agree.
And I think what they're going to do is they're going to try to ramp it up again.
So Durfee and Brockton for the final time, the final quarter here this season. Brockton will, the score stays the same, get their 11th loss, and unless their strength of schedule is something off the charts, they will not be in the tournament this year because they will not have won half their games or at least a 500 record, right?
It's a great turnaround by Avery Lane. That's an incredible catch turnaround. That's something, if she can develop that, consistently, that was a great. And this is what I like to see out of Durfee right now.
Look at this. Oh, just in and out of the hands of DePina, but clearly a little more intensity to start the fourth, as you said.
As the turnover on the backcourt. We've given a lot of flowers to Martino today. Emily DePina plays just as hard in the backcourt and is fast and long and is a ball hawk as well. The two of them make it very difficult for opposing guards. Yeah, and exactly what I thought Coach Karen would say is, you can see the pep in Durfee's step right now. It's a little more crisp.
Step there for DePina, travel called. Well, on Fred TV this week, we still got 2 more broadcasts. We have live basketball tomorrow. We're going to see the Diamond Boys. And on Saturday, that Diamond game, by the way, 6:30 tip. I know we had girls last week. It was a 5 o'clock. Tomorrow is 6:30 from the James T. Ashley Gymnasium. And then Saturday night, senior night for hockey over at Driscoll. 5 o'clock puck drop, but the senior night ceremony happening before that. So we will, the senior night ceremony will be recorded, folks, by the way, just so you know, because the way they do it at the glass and where we have to film from live up on the, behind one of the goals, it's impossible to see what's going on at the doors to the ice. So to get a good shot, that'll be pre-recorded. We'll run that at a later time. But the game itself will be live streamed. 3-ball for DePina.
That time of year where it's senior night activities.
Yeah. Girls basketball has their senior night next Monday here. That's a 6:30 game. So we'll have a camera here to get that pregame ceremony. And then the boys is against New Bedford next Friday the 14th, which we'll be live for. So this is our last full game coverage of the girls side of things until hopefully playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully
we keep our fingers crossed.
Hopefully
but
you and I are either here,
yeah,
or
Or
Listen,
on the road.
I like the road trips. It's a nice.
We're not afraid to travel, folks. You know that. I mean, unfortunately, we're at the whim of a hot spot most of the time, and yeah, there's some issues that come along with that. But you know, at the worst case, catch the game later on the recorded side of things. At least you have a copy of it. You know
We've had some fun times. The
yeah.
Franklin one was a blast, and you look back at that one.
There was so much good stuff that came with that day because that was the day all the COVID mandates had been lifted, and they had the full gym. It felt like
you
old
said
time.
a professional atmosphere on the high school level.
It was so great.
That was a lot of fun. The Bridgewater State
Yes.
University, that was a ton of fun. That one felt a little different. We were up on the top. We were playing at a neutral site when it didn't need to be at the time. That was a lot of fun. Last year, I thought being up in Wellesley was fun. That was a good one.
Wellesley's a good environment. That was not the first time we had been there. We had been there for the boys back
pre-COVID. Yeah.
Pre-COVID, that was, I want to say 18 we were there.
Yep. So we've had our fun on the road. So we're not afraid. We're not afraid to travel. We'll stay here and then we can hit the road.
Yeah. As long as we've pretty much stayed away, as long as we're not try to stay within that 495 belt, basically.
Well, what's going to happen
straight
now,
too far out.
Do I even say it that we're going to end in Western Mass? Or we're going to Worcester?
Oh gosh. Well, Worcester's
fine.
We went to Shrewsbury for 2. We went there was a doubleheader in the fall one year, and we went to Wachusett Regional for field hockey. So that's pretty much Worcester, Greater Worcester.
We want to go out. We want to go out to the Berkshires.
No, not unless it's later rounds.
Yeah.
I really don't. And Durfee's been very lucky that I think because the D1 teams, a lot of the bigger schools are out this way, that you see more of the D1 matchups are going to be in this area.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to stop you right there, though. And I don't know the exact math, but the last time I looked and studied the power rankings,
yeah,
there's a world, and so much has to happen. There's a world where the prelims here, Durfee win, and a Springfield Central second round. Springfield Central is in the
There's
top
a lot of basketball to play
yet,
Brandon.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying, we might have to go to Springfield.
Oh boy. Well, the boss is in the control room, so Renee, you listening?
Could they get us a ride there? Could they get us the Uber Black?
Oh God, the mileage will be cheaper. I'll just drive us. That's down for 2, and DePina with 6 points here in the fourth.
The two of them have been great on the break.
The worst case scenario, it's ironic that it had happened that first year with the power rankings, was when the team from the Berkshires out in, I think it was out in Lee, somewhere way out there, they drew Nantucket.
No, it happens every year.
It's crazy.
That
shouldn't happen.
The farthest is it's Wacona, Nantucket, and it's happened.
Yes,
and it's happened
that's what it was.
3 times in different spots.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's Wacona Regional in Nantucket. That's the furthest matchup, because somebody on the internet did it the first year. They're like, all right, what could be a potential? That's the furthest one, and it's happened multiple times.
Yeah, which is just crazy.
Well, as a matter of fact, one year, I want to say it was girls volleyball, and I should know because both schools are in my division that I study for 4 months in a row.
Yeah.
One year, one went to 1, and then it flipped the next year. So
crazy. Jada Martins has fouled out. She's got her 5th foul. So her night is done with 12 points. And by my unofficial count, that is the game high right now.
Heck of a game.
And
she's got to have 10 steals.
Oh,
and she's just around a lot of things and rebound and stuff like that. I mean, coming out of a league game with at least a double-double, potentially flirting with a triple-double, that's a great night for her.
Sterling has 10, but nothing this quarter. Not out there right now. Coward with 2 right there. And the other player with 10 points for Durfee is now DePina, who has 6 here in the fourth quarter.
You know, this is a game Durfee's going to feel good about themselves. You know, they played hard, executed, come away with a big win. Listen, it's always hard to play against Brockton. It's always hard to play against New Bedford. I don't care what particular year it is or what the records are.
Oh, yeah.
These are big games, you know, for these communities, and the kids know that. So this is a victory well earned for Durfee.
And much needed, by the way, because Durfee at 6-8 really does not have a lot of wiggle room with regards to record here. They need to win some of these games, so they're going to be one game below 500 with this win, and they're going to need to keep it going.
Yeah, it'll be a big one against New Bedford next week, you know, with potential league implications. Now the automatic bid's no longer there.
Yeah, not for the conference.
Yeah,
Since the power rankings, folks, we've talked about it, the conference does not get you in. It's either top 32 ranked or you're at large, 500 or better record.
You've looked at it, like I said, studying these things, it's you think to yourself, well, how could you win a conference and not potentially win the tournament? And it's almost happened in a few sports in more than one school community and stuff like that. So it's unique. I mean, I still am old school enough where I think a conference,
you know,
should get you in, but you know, we're Big Three. It's 4 games, and
so that's the thing, and that's where I honestly don't have a problem with it, because there were a couple times where we saw Durfee have a terrible season, but they happened to do well against Brockton and New Bedford. I think it was a 5 or 6 win season, but because they swept the Big Three, they got in, and then there were other teams that were like, say, you know, 13-7 and didn't get in.
Hey, listen,
you know, so
I've been there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've got a few of the 2-2 try Big Three champs.
Yeah,
you know,
so
and, you know, not our fault with the conference.
No,
with
it's
the
a
way
terrible
it is,
situation. 3 teams in a conference, and honestly, I hate that they went back to it. We talked about it throughout the year. In fall sports, we talked to all the coaches when it was a new thing again, and I understand tradition, but no, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of it. I'm never going to be a fan of it, and I thought the 5-team conference was fantastic, or 6-team conference. No,
Yeah.
5-team conference. Durfee with Bedford and Brockton, and they added BR and Dartmouth. I thought it was great having that.
Well, I will tell you this, from an SEC standpoint, if you ever worried about us joining that and stuff like that, we performed as a whole athletic program. We performed very well in the SEC in a short period of time. And you got to think about that too. The maybe second year, I mean, there was a lot of mix-up coming out of COVID and stuff like that. Durfee performed very well with that. The problem is the 3 of us, you're going to say us as a New Bedford and Brockton, our numbers are significantly higher than the other 2. We just think those are bigger schools than they are. They're big, but they're not as big as us. There's also an equity. We tend to look at basketball and baseball and football and forget that there's a whole other athletic program with other sports that, you know, maybe the competitive balance wasn't up for, you know, league. And listen, here's the other thing with these power rankings not going anywhere. There's a lot of teams that are very non-traditional in their schedule making now. So,
oh yeah, and I totally understand that as well. I'm not, you know, so then maybe the answer, and I don't remember if it was you I was talking about this with, but you know, the Hockomock League is primarily D1. There's what, 10 schools? Well, the Mayflower has 3 different versions of it because there are too many teams. So why can't we split the Hawk into 2? Have like Hockomock West, Hockomock East. So, and 24-ish is your line of demarcation. And Brockton's already playing half those schools anyway. You got Oliver Ames in there. You got King Philip in there. Taunton's part of it. We're seeing those schools. Attleboro's part of it. So why not have a merger in that way, as we have a player down, unfortunately, for Durfee.
And these are the things that stink at this juncture of the game. The game very much in command, and you have these bang plays. Hopefully it's just a tweak.
Yeah.
And she's just catching her breath right now.
Skylar Coward, the player down at the moment for the Hilltoppers. But I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking outside the box because I think the Hockomock, we've played some good games, some tough games against those teams. And if you want to be a true D1 program, you need D1 opponents. Durfee boys, we'll talk about this next game, but I'm going to preview it for you. 5th strongest schedule in D1 this season, the Durfee boys basketball program. It's about time. That's great.
Is that from a number standpoint? We have a very good strength of schedule.
Coach DeCruz told me that because he said the ranking, despite being at 500, they were in the top 32, and it's because their schedule is much tougher this year. I'm happy about that because how many times would we go to Newton or Needham or Wellesley or Franklin and in the first round, and we're not at that level? So I think that's great, and I think that's a place to start. But if you're going to see more of those D1 teams, especially if they're in the Hawk, well, maybe there's a conversation there.
Yeah, it worked out well for Durfee too.
Yeah.
That Attleboro's 1-2, it fluctuates. And good news for Skylar Coward, was able to walk off on her own right now. Not really flustered on the bench right now. She's kind of caught her breath. Kelly Mahoney taking care of her, so you don't want to see anybody go down, especially.
No. Our trainer Kelly and Coach Karen quick to get out there.
Yeah, so it's good that she walked off on her own right now. A little bit of a limp, but she's a tough kid. She'll be fine as long as nothing serious. But yeah,
30 seconds here.
Attleboro flips 1-2 depending on the day, and some of the other schools, Bridgewater Raynham's having a hell of a year on the boys' side. New Bedford's having a really good year too, so that helps that teams that we traditionally play doing well. Brockton playing right to the end.
It's off the rim. Durfee should just hold it here, and they will. Hilltoppers, winners in the Big Three for the second time this year. They sweep the Boxers, a 56-29 final score.
A lot to be proud of if Durfee. Without a doubt, a gigantic building block, moving forward, just from a defensive intensity, and the fact that they came out with such good intensity that, that can carry over to another game.
Durfee with double-digit point totals in every quarter. They held Brockton to under 10 in every quarter. Outstanding on both sides of the ball. Reminds me a lot of, I know Brockton has struggled this year. We saw a lot of shots that were not close, but the pressure also, you got to factor that in. But this reminds me a lot of the playoff game we saw last year here.
Very much so.
For Durfee's side of things, good in all phases of the game, and that's the kind of thing they needed to get back to the win column.
Yeah, it's no better time than now, to play that way. And this is something you can watch the tape, make whatever tweaks necessary practice-wise, and you want to just roll this over into Friday. And
that's right. Friday, another game coming up here for the Lady Hilltoppers. Well, Brendan, always a pleasure. Good to see a win here at home. Got a big crew here. We want to give everybody a shout-out. So our students from Fred TV, Sophie Dorigo, George Tompkins, Braden Kinder, Ryan Horseman, and Lamar So. Lamar has actually been directing this broadcast. Our professional crew, of course, from Fred TV, Mike Ferreira, Alex Mello, Craig Salvador, Gary Leet, David Montero, our boss, Renee Kochman, Brendan Kelly, my broadcast partner. I'm Evan Massoud. Final score from Durfee tonight, 56-29. The Hilltoppers win it over the Boxers. Join me tomorrow from Diamond for more hoops live on Fred TV. So long. That's for three, and that's good. Gain the zone. Shot, it's good! That's Spinall. Pulls up, knocks it down!